And we're back with a Fox Business Alert. President Trump announcing strikes against ISIS in Nigeria following the killing of Christians there. Victoria Coates joins us now. Victoria, good to see you. Is this a one-off, do you think, or could we see more strikes?
Well, happy Boxing Day, Ash. I think this is a very important signal from the president, who announced the strikes last night. And he's been speaking out about the persecution of Christians, which has sadly been going on for years in Nigeria. And so I think we could see this as a very strong action against ISIS, Boko Haram, the other groups that are active in Nigeria, and a clear message to the government of Nigeria that they need to get after this problem.
But do you think those groups will back down?
Well, I think they will. I mean, these are Tomahawks launched off of a Navy destroyer in the Atlantic. I mean, ISIS doesn't have any capabilities like that. So this is the United States using our dominant military edge. And it's also why the president's announcement about that new class of Navy battleship is so important. We can do this right now, and we're going to maintain that edge going forward.
All right, let's talk about another area of interest. Venezuela's Nicolas Maduro apparently using pressure from President Trump as an excuse to deploy the military. He's calling critics traitors. He's also arresting dozens of dissenters. This is a difficult one to call. How do you think this plays out, and how far does the U.S. military go?
This is actually the communist Cuban regime exercising their power through Venezuela. They're the ones who are propping Maduro up. But bear in mind, if Maduro can't get oil to Havana, Cuba's going to collapse. They're in their worst economic situation since 1959, Ash. I mean, things are really bad on the island. A quarter of the population has fled over the course of the last 4 years. And so if Venezuela collapses, Maduro's ability to do this kind of clampdown on the Venezuelan people will start to evaporate. And that's when I think we might see some change.
Yeah. Interesting to follow. How about this one, Victoria? Ukrainian President Zelensky apparently will meet with Trump at Mar-a-Lago on Sunday. Are you seeing any progress in ending this war with Russia?
Well, the president has certainly invested a lot of time and personal credibility into the Ukraine file. I think Secretary Rubio said last week he's had more meetings on Ukraine than any other problem set. So he is doing his best to end this horrible war. I think you're starting to see some movement on Zelensky's part. The hardest issue is always going to be that eastern border between Ukraine and Russia. If Zelensky is sort of figuring out what his bottom line is there, if that's something Russia can agree to, then we might see an end to the fighting. But then the key is going forward to focus on Ukraine's security, their missile defense, their border security. Right. Those are the two issues where we can really help them.
And let's finish with North Korea, why not? The country has just released photos of the development of a nuclear-powered submarine. How serious of a threat does North Korea really pose, Victoria?
Well, they are a nuclear power, Ash. Now, that said, their ability to actually deploy a nuclear submarine, which is quite a complicated endeavor, I'm pretty skeptical of that. But the question mark there is going to be China. Is China sharing their technology with North Korea? China always says, oh, they're an independent country, we don't control them. That's a lie. China completely controls North Korea. They're their only trading partner, their only source of revenue. So if this actually does escalate, I think all eyes should be on Beijing.
Do you think Beijing in the new year will start putting their eyes back on Taiwan again and start ruffling those feathers? What do you think?
Well, they're certainly thinking about it. I mean, the year that Chairman Xi has named for the People's Liberation Army to be ready to move against Taiwan is 2027. So maybe not in 2026, but they're certainly going to be watching it closely. It's actually a very complicated military exercise. So I think the fact that Taiwan is significantly ramping up their military expenditure, as is Japan, is a way that we can really deter China from that kind of adventurism.
I think we covered the whole world. Great job, Victoria. Thank you very much for joining us. And yes, happy Boxing Day to you.